The Rangers and A's have shared the love in this division rivalry, exchanging wins in each of the last 5 meetings. Last night, a back-and-forth affair saw Oakland chasing the Rangers away in the ninth. Tonight, it's the Rangers who look to hug it out in the end. To be clear, the Rangers would love to win this game tonight, and even this series so far with Oakland taking the opener last night. And of course, if history is any lesson, the Rangers will win tonight. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Dave Raymond alongside Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve. These two teams continue to alternate victories in this thing, which means it is the Rangers' turn tonight. One thing they need to do, though, tonight is take a little pressure off this bullpen.
They need to, Dave. When the team came off the road trip, in the last 6 games of the road trip, we were all talking about the bullpen as one of the strengths of the team, and it pitched very well. Prior 6 games, 17 innings, and 0.53 ERA. The first 4 games of the homestand have gone in the opposite direction. The bullpen has struggled. The same guys with good arms who are pitching great have struggled in the first 4 games of this homestand. What they could really need tonight is a nice long start from Cole Hamels to give them a little bit of rest. In his first start in Oakland, he had tremendous stuff. In fact, on the season, batters in swung and missed 30% of the time. That's a 50% increase from last year. The stuff has been great. In that start, 5 innings, 11 strikeouts. What you'd love to see tonight, Dave, is maybe 7 or 8 innings, a nice win for Cole, and a little rest for the bullpen.
Yeah, manage that pitch count in the early innings for Cole Hamels. If he's going to do it tonight, he's going to do it against an Oakland team he has seen plenty over the years. But this is an Oakland team right now really swinging the bats as well as anybody.
You know, coming into the season, if you looked at the Oakland lineup, you thought that maybe this could be a surprising team. And the way they played in the last 8 games, they're playing really well. The 7-1 record has lifted their overall record to 12-11. They're scoring runs. Their pitching has been pretty good. They lead the league in on-base percentage. Tonight, they're going to bring a pitcher to the mound by the name of Andrew Triggs. He's pitched very well in a brief stint against the Rangers, 1-0 with a 1.02 ERA. When you look at the highlights of them, you get a pretty good idea what the Rangers will see tonight. A big assortment of sliders and curveballs. Got an excellent assortment of off-speed pitches. Pitched well against the Rangers. Hopefully the Ranger bats will get a few hangers tonight and launch a few.
I like that idea plenty. Rangers hoping to even this series with a victory today. One thing they've done consistently well in this homestand is they play defense. You know, the young kids and the old kids have tightened it up a little bit. We'll put that defense in the spotlight when we come back. Man, another gorgeous night for baseball here in Arlington, and couldn't be happier to be here. The A's and the Rangers. We're just talking about the defense in this homestand for the Rangers has been outstanding. Let's put them in the Shiner Box Spotlight.
Well, we have a lot to highlight right here in the Shiner Box Spotlight. We'll start off with our best defensive player, Adrian Beltre. Nice backhanded play. Fly ball. Drew Robinson makes a spectacular diving catch. Ronald Guzman, the guy they call the Condor at first base, made a bunch of good plays in this homestand. Jurickson Profar getting his shot to play shortstop on an everyday basis with a nice play. Robinson Chirinos gunned down D. Gordon, the only time he's been thrown out all year after 9 straight. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at second base has played well. We saved the best for last. That's Delino DeShields going up over the center field wall to take away a home run. It pumps him up, pumps his teammates up, and the pitchers love to see that kind of defense, and we've had a lot of it over the last 3 or 4 ball games, Dave.
It sure has been nice to have him back out there, and Kiner-Falefa's done an outstanding job as well. You know, somebody else who really appreciates good defense is our own Emily Jones.
Absolutely, and we have seen plenty of it this homestand. And in talking to Jeff Bannister about the uptick in defense, he says it's always something that they focus on, but he really has noticed a difference in not only making the routine plays, but also making the exemplary plays. He credits that to that combination of the veteran defenders making those plays, and then also to some young guys perhaps wanting to show a little bit of what they've got here at the major league level, show that they belong and that they can fit in here on the diamond. And so far, so good, especially for those young guys, Dave.
Yeah, and it's been so much fun to watch in this situation where a lot of guys forced up here a little earlier than we'd anticipated. Fun to see them get the opportunity, but even better to see them excelling so far. So we are set to go tonight. Cole Hamels hoping that defense will be steady behind him tonight as he winds up for his 6th start of the season and gets us going with strike 1 to Marcus Semien. 34-year-old left-hander. 1 win, 3 losses for Hamels, and it's 1-1. So Semien leading things off for Oakland. Chad Pender, Jed Lowry, Chris Davis up top. Chapman, Olson, Canna, and then Stephen Piscotty and Jonathan Lucroy is their lineup tonight. 2-1 to Semien. 270 hitters. Semien has 3 home runs. Maybe his biggest came last night in the 9th inning to break a 3-3 tie. And he gets himself ahead now, 3-1.
Yeah, Semien's been swinging a good bat. We were talking about him last night, Dave, a couple of years ago. Hit 27 home runs in a season, so he brings power to the leadoff spot.
And a little bit of patience as he draws a walk to start this one tonight.
Take a look at the arsenal from Cole Hamels. The pitches he favors. Fastball, 37% of the time. Technically, the cutter is a form of a fastball. He throws that 29% of the time. He's had a good one so far this year. I think when he's throwing well, his changeup is a huge pitch for him. He throws that a little over 20% of the time. And he also mixes in a good curveball. The strikeout totals are up this year. Swings and misses are up. In fact, 50% more swings and misses this year than last year. And I think that's a result of good command of the off-speed pitches. Curveball, changeup. I think a more improved cut fastball.
Breaking ball wrapped out into right field by Chad Pender, who is now 7 for 7 in his career against Hamels.
That's pretty incredible.
It is just nuts.
At least it's not an extra base hit. This is a curveball that just flips up there about belt high. That was not where Cole wanted to throw it. Certainly not one of his better curveballs. Pender stayed with it, lined it into right field. 6 for 6 coming into the game. 3 doubles and 3 home runs. That's just incredible.
So Lowry up with nobody out, pops this one up into foul ground. Guzman may have a play, does not. Strike 1 on Lowry.
You know, the only way he could have caught that was to go on the other side of the wall and go right back to the seats. He might have been able to reach in, but That's something that's tough to figure out as you're racing over there, trying to catch the ball behind the security guard. Might have been able to reach in from over there, but you don't know that when you're running over there.
Yeah, and a lot of times on a pop-up down that line, right, the spin as it comes down puts that little banana in it and brings it back toward the playing field. So you're almost thinking, well, maybe it'll come back to me on this side. That's a tough one. 1-1 to Jed Lowry.
If you go behind the security guard, you're 2 rows closer to the ball, and that's fine. But once you get there, you can't go forward because the wall's in your way. So you have to make sure you've judged it right.
This ball hit down the left field line, could be trouble, and it is foul.
Wow.
Yikes. Now you can keep it.
Well, Lowry is off to a spectacular start. Got the 3rd best batting average in baseball, and he's hit left-handed pitchers at a .375 clip. OPS over 1,000.
You know, we highlight a couple numbers. You see 35 hits, most in the American League. You could fill the screen with all the numbers right now that are defining an unbelievable start for Lowry, including, you know, those 6 home runs. Not to be trifled with. Most home runs he has hit in a month. Matches an effort for him, but it goes back to 2012 last time he did that, and he did it twice in 2012. 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Hamels, it's a very big strikeout, and records his first out of the night.
Yeah, went to the changeup and threw a good one. That's pretty much perfect. The delivery had deception to the hitter, and it was perfectly located with good tailing and sinking action to it. That's the definition of an excellent changeup right there. You can tell by the swing that one of the hottest hitters in baseball took at it what kind of a pitch it was.
Well, no less a challenge for Hamels is now Chris Davis. 4th in the league with the 21 RBIs. And a terror for Rangers pitchers. Takes a big swing here, but got under it a little bit. Shields is there. 2 gone. Simeon tags. He'll go to 3rd, but with 2 out, that may not be a real meaningful advance.
The Rangers defense is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Joey Gallo will be in left. Delino back in center field. Nomar Mazara's in right field. The infield has Adrian Beltre at 3rd, Ronald Guzman over at first, Profar Kiner Falefa up the middle, and Robinson Chirinos behind the plate.
All right, so Hamels to deal with Matt Chapman, 5th place hitter. Chapman, he was the guy who got off to the smoking hot start for Oakland. First 10 games of the year was hitting .405. He had a triple last night to add to his league lead. Last 13 games, though, he's scuffled a little bit to the tune of a .188 average. So he's come back down to earth just a touch. Still a very dangerous hitter. And just like Chris Davis, the Rangers certainly aware of him. He has hit the Rangers well to the tune of a .411 average in 15 games against Texas. So no doubt Hamels knows to be careful with Matt Chapman. Two-one. Another beauty. 2-2.
I think when you look at the increased swing and miss rate for Cole this year, it's a result of really nice command with his complementary pitches. Cutter for sure has been better so far this year.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Chapman to get out of the inning. A walk and a single, but no damage done. A scoreless top of the first.
Well, after 1st and 2nd and nobody out, a nice finish to the inning with a curveball and a strike 3 to Matt Chapman. Nice pitching by Cole.
far at short. Chirino's catching. Guzman, the first baseman, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at second. First pitch to the Shields. That one right in there for a strike from Andrew Triggs. 1-0, a 5.82 ERA in his first 4 starts.
And the arsenal for Andrew Triggs. His fastball generally is a sinker, a 2-seam fastball with a lot of movement on it, and basically an equal amount of curveballs and sliders. Kind of throws from that 3/4 angle. There's his sinker, somewhere around 90 miles an hour. And then he has a curveball and a slider. Slider's a little bit harder, doesn't break quite as much.
Well, it looks like he gets a lot of movement on everything he throws up there.
The Rangers saw Trevor Cahill last night. There's the sweeping breaking ball, and he had significant movement on his sinker. And to see Andrew Triggs be more of the same tonight. There's one you start to swing at it, and it just keeps on breaking. Kind of steps toward third base, which gives some deception to a right-hand hitter. Has a little bit of a problem picking the ball up.
Yeah, it sort of gives a sensation that that thing's sweeping even more. A crossfire delivery. So now Chu at 237, 5 home runs. Did an outstanding job slotting into the leadoff spot when DeShields was on the DL. Now drops down to the 2 hole. And he falls behind 0-2. Yesterday, Chu was hitless in 4 at-bats. And Triggs gets him to chase that one in the dirt. So, wow, back-to-back strikeouts for Andrew Triggs.
And third, the right fielder, number 30, Delmar.
That's his changeup. After 2 90-mile-an-hour sinkers, you can see the changeup with the 3 fingers, the spin that leads to the downward action, change of speed, and a swing that definitely indicated Shin-Soo was fooled on that pitch. Shin-Soo's probably going to go back and say, should have swung one of those fastballs before I had to see that changeup.
So with 2 outs, 2 strikeouts on 7 pitches, Triggs probably feeling pretty good. Comes after Mazzara, and he shoots it foul for a long strike.
He's coming off a start against the White Sox where he didn't get out of the 2nd inning, gave up 5 hits and 6 runs. In his 3 prior starts, the longest outing he had was 5 1/3. So he has not pitched deeply into the ball games, and didn't get into the last ball game hardly at all. 1 1/3 was all he was able to go. That's what it looked like. 5 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks.
Sure, he appreciates us putting those numbers up there. It's not the type of thing you want framing your image on the screen. Not a good outing for Triggs.
Well, whatever happens tonight, it's going to be better than that night because he already has 2 strikeouts. He didn't have any in that game.
So that was the game, by the way, that went 14 innings or something.
Yeah.
And the first
6-hour ball game.
Yeah, the first 4 innings went 2.5 hours.
Whoa.
Of course, he was long gone at that point, but didn't even factor in the decision. 1-2. Now, you could argue, and I don't even know if there's much argument any other way about it. His best start this year was against the Rangers. His first start on April 2nd. Went 5 innings, struck out a season high 7. Only threw 88 pitches in that one. And to that end, he has put up good numbers against the Rangers in the handful of times they've seen him. This one inside, it's a full count. Didn't factor in the decision in that one either.
That's a nice solid start.
So he struck out to Shields and then struck out Chu. Mazara battling with him here. And the 3-2 pitch. Bounced left side in the hole. Covered up by Simeon. Throws across his body, not in time. And Mazara beats out an infield hit.
You could see Simeon try to decide how he was going to throw that ball. Decided to throw it on the run. Whoa.
That one may be challenged by Oakland. Let's see.
Here they come.
Yep.
I say Simeon didn't have quite enough arm strength to get this out, but on second thought, I think he did have the arm strength to get that out. Nice play. Went to his right, threw on the run. That's a play that, if you watch highlights regularly, you've seen Manny Machado, who's playing shortstop this year for the Orioles, make that play several times, sometimes almost 2 steps in the outfield. And it's just amazing how, running the other way, he can throw over the top and get something on his throw. Just incredible arm strength. Used to do that at third base in foul territory, and now he's doing it in shortstop out in short left field.
So that would be an easier adjustment, right? Going from third to short and making those types of plays. I mean, if you were able to do that at third base.
I think most people would say it takes more arm strength to play shortstop than it does third base. Oh, there's the call. To be continued, Dave.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. Mazara grounds out. The inning is done, and we go to the second. And Hamels to Matt Olson, low for a ball.
Yeah, when Cole hung that curveball to Chad Pinder and he lined it into right field for first and second and nobody out, that was the last bad pitch he made. I think he was extremely upset to walk Simeon after an 0-1 count. Then he hung the curveball and he was probably even more upset. But then he struck out Lowry and made a great curveball to strike out Chapman to work out of the inning. A nice changeup, lefty to a lefty.
We got 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Olson, a guy who strikes out a lot, in fact leads the American League with 34 strikeouts. A lot of power in that bat, though, and he takes in the dirt. 2-2. How about this one? Olson yesterday did not strike out in the game, and it was the first time he had gone without a strikeout since April 3rd. To give you an example of how often guys in today's game are allowed to strike out. I mean, he does it a ton. Inside, and that one may have gotten a piece of his batting glove. Yep. And they get a rule hit by pitch, so Olson awarded first base, and Jeff Bannister saying, hey, hang on a second.
It hit something. Let's see what it hit.
Wait a minute. As he pulls away, it almost looked like it got a piece of the bat, right? And we've seen guys.
His hand is over the knob. No, it hit his wrist, hit his left wrist.
So Olson is on. Boy, that was just barely 13th time that an A's hitter has been plunked. And the Rangers, we mentioned this last night as a pitch to Canna is high. Remember last night I said, boy, that's 6 straight games now the Rangers have hit about. Well, it's 7 straight games now that the Rangers have hit an opposing hitter.
Yeah, and that was one that I think Cole would be upset with, just because ahead in the count to a guy that, as you mentioned, has struck out a lot this year. And Cole, coming into the game, had struck out 34 batters in 28 innings, so he is on a good strikeout streak himself. Probably felt he was in complete command of that at bat to lead off the inning, which makes the hit by pitch of Olson a little more troublesome to a pitcher, I think.
2-1 the count on Canna. He's got a 7-game hitting streak going. Canna 10 for 25 on the streak.
I mean, interesting to see tonight how Cole uses his cut fastball. Last night, Matt Moore threw a bunch of cut fastballs, and he threw some of them 2 to 3 inches off the plate inside that A's hitters hit fair down the left field line for extra base hits. Well, they were kind of on those pitches last night.
Cole catches the corner.
Yeah, used the cutter, but not on the inside part of the plate. He used it to drop it on the outside corner. Started out a little outside and then bring it back to touch the corner.
Well, he used 19 pitches in the first inning, and they're starting to pile up here again in the second. This one lined to third. Beltre has it and juggles it a little bit, but that is an out. Lost it on the exchange, but that was pretty good. Got about like 6 touches on that.
Yeah, if they didn't call it a catch, he would have thrown it to second. They would have turned a double play. The runner at first can't go anywhere. The batter didn't go anywhere because he thought Adrian caught it, which he did. But if it turned out that he dropped it, he would have just thrown to second, back to first. They would have had a double play.
You know,
maybe that's what he was thinking. Who knows?
You say that a guy loses it on the exchange. Look at this. Well, I'll just drop it on the exchange. Yeah. See if I can talk somebody into that.
I think he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I think he's goofing around a little bit. See if maybe he could get himself into a double play situation there. Piscotty takes outside for a ball. The genius of Adrian Beltre. Nobody's safe, man. You gotta be on your toes.
Big jump.
Throw down a second, though. Good one. Olson has the steal, his second stolen base of the year.
Yeah, he had a huge jump, and that shows how quickly and accurately Robinson Chirinos got rid of this ball and threw it. Big jump, and the throw is right on the money, but because of the jump, Robinson really never had a chance. Made it close, though. Nice throw. A's don't steal a lot of bases. That's only their 6th stolen base. Olson has a couple of them now.
Yeah, they run a pretty massive deficit when it comes to stolen bases. You talk about the stolen bases that they have allowed, and then the very few that they have stolen themselves. It's quite the chasm between the two. 1-2 pitch and a little tapper foul. But that has not prevented Oakland from being a very good offensive team. So look at Piscotty's numbers through 22 games. And those numbers don't really do justice to how he's hitting it recently, hitting .340 in his last 11 games. So he's picked things up significantly lately. 1-2. And that pop up slicing away down that right side. Oh, nice play by a fan. Yes, sir.
Take a look at it.
Gives a little let's go at the end.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It'd
press the
probably
ladies.
be safer for the people he's with if he was on the other side, so he would be able to catch a line drive that came that way a little easier. And that's prime territory for a hooking line drive from a left-hand hitter too.
Yeah, that's a ball I caught.
And he's played some baseball before.
That's great. Inside of Piscotty, that one got him just off the top of his foot. Second hit batter in the inning.
Sure did. You see his foot move.
Boy, the free base runners early in this one for Hamels. The walk in the first inning, the two hit batters here.
Yeah, it's a game. We've talked about how much the bullpen has been used in the last 9 games. In the last 6 games of the road trip, the bullpen ERA was less than 1. They pitched great. First 4 games of this homestand, they haven't had quite the same success, but the overall theme for the last week and a half has been a lot of innings from the bullpen. And so you've got your #1 starter out there, and you're hoping for a long outing today.
Lucroy lofts this one out to center field. Shields with plenty of time to get back on it. He'll make the play. Both runners advance on the deep fly ball, but there are 2 away.
Take a look at the exact numbers for the bullpen. Last 4 games, the ERA has been 11.5. Prior to that 6 games, 0.53 in 17 innings. A lot of good arms out in the bullpen. And when we came off that road trip, we were singing the praises of the bullpen, saying that's a nice strength of the ball club. They've had some tough going in the first 4 games, but the talent's there. The results have been there. And hopefully they'll be able to put the first 4 games of this road trip behind them and get back in gear. But right now, Cole's zeroing in on a 40-pitch total through 2 innings. So you're going to have to get that pitch count a little bit more in order to pitch deeply into this ball game.
Simeon bounces it left side. Nice snag by Beltre, and that will end the inning. Well, the A's leave 2 more in scoring position. We've played 1.5, no score.
T-Mobile. Look at the last play of the game at Houston. Mike Scioscia reviews the play. Let's see what happened. Called safe. Ooh, he is not safe. He is out at third base. That's Yuri Gurriel. Thought he was safe, and that's how the ball game ended, with an appeal play at third base.
Boy, you know, of the many, let's say, rules that we talk about in baseball, right? Making the first or third out at third base. A third out in the bottom of the ninth inning in a 2-0 game?
No. You know, that's the second time in a couple of days that something similar had happened. A couple of days ago, Nolan Arenado was on third base. Colorado had the bases loaded. They're down in the game 9-7 with 2 outs. A pitch got away from the catcher. Arenado tried to score and was thrown out at the plate, down by 2 runs.
Beltre up the middle. Can he beat it out?
Yes, he can.
There you go.
He says, nice play at second base, but you can't throw me out. Lowry had to smile at that one. Lowry went a long way to get this ball. He's out in center field and launches a long, accurate throw, but Adrian beat it out. Watch Adrian if we can catch him after this. He's safe and looks out at Lowry. Says, nice play. And even Lowry smiled at that.
So an infield hit for Beltre, and gets Gallo up there with a man on.
So I guess if Gurriel had a bad base running play last night, Arenado's was even more dangerous. Have the bases loaded in a 2-run game and get thrown out on a pass ball or a wild pitch for the last out of the game.
Triggs from the stretch for the first time today. Now time called. Obviously he was thinking hard about Adrian Beltre over at first.
Adrian's still messing around with Lowry.
Yeah, it occurred to me with that little exchange that those two might have crossed paths together in Boston. I think they did in 2010, as this one lofted out to center field and Gallo retired for the first out of the inning. So I think they, doesn't that make sense?
Explain it even better.
Yeah, Beltre.
Not that Beltre is shy from having a conversation with anybody, but it would make more sense that they had been teammates together.
Because that was Beltre's year, 2010 in Boston. Yeah, Lowry, Lowry at that point was in the Red Sox organization, had come up, played 55 games that year. So yeah,
there you go. They were teammates. I think the Red Sox, after the year that Adrian had, I can't remember what the numbers were, but he knocked in 100 runs, hit 300, 25 home runs more, would like to have kept him long term instead of having Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah, that didn't work
years
out.
later than that. 28 home runs, 102 RBIs, and he only hit 321.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty good year. You know, every time we go back there, somebody says it, right? Somebody who works in the booth, could be a fan. Somebody brings it up, and they're like, "Oh, the Beltre."
Imagine having Adrian and Big Papi on the same team.
Oh.
I mean, Big Papi could have been mayor of Boston. He's one of the most popular sports figures Boston's ever had, and they've had a lot of them. But boy, if you could have put those two guys together on the same team, that would have been entertainment on a minute-by-minute basis during that 7 or 8 years together.
On one pitch to Profar, fouled away, and it's strike 2.
Not to mention the performance on the field.
Now Beltre taking off to second base as the throw gets away from the pitcher, and now he'll head to third. Wow! I mean, nobody paying attention. And Beltre just keeps running.
They're going to send him back, though, I think.
Well, the problem here is on a foul ball when the umpire puts the ball back into play. It's a dead ball, as he's going to explain to Jeff Bannister.
Boy, and then a wild pitch he scores, he would have manufactured a run with his wheels. Even Bob Melvin's laughing.
Good pass.
All right, foul ball. The umpire puts the ball back in play. Whoops, throws it into center field. I guess the ball is never officially back in play. Is that what the
I guess, you know,
ruling
you
is?
figure it's a dead ball, and
Adrian just keeps right on going.
but you know what? So it is a dead ball. But how about Adrian Beltre, just in case it isn't?
Yeah.
Right? And you know, so many guys would pass upon that opportunity. You would even hesitate. You might think about it. You say, well, it's probably a dead ball, right? But he assumes the exact opposite. I have an opportunity. I'm going.
Well, so far, this has been an inning where there's been smiles all around the field. Adrian's infield hit provided a smile for Jed Lowry at second base, and that trip to third base, even though it didn't count, had both managers smiling. That's entertainment right there.
Outside 2-2 on Profar. Well, how many times have you heard a fan or somebody talking about, you know, grown men playing a kid's game? You know, we talk about guys playing with that spirit of, you know, a kid having fun. I mean, but you don't always see it. With Beltre, you do always see it. He is always having fun as Profar strikes out swinging, and there are 2 away.
I'd love to be able to go back in time and see him in his early years with the Dodgers, just to watch him then, to see if he was the exact same way back then as he is now, or if this personality has developed over the years.
A lot of competitiveness in there too, right? Behind the smiles and the goofing around.
As it has turned out, however many years we've had Adrian, I'm glad it's been the last years rather than the first years, because it's been a lot of fun to watch him at this stage of his career with the milestones he sets on a daily basis, the trips to the postseason. I'm glad we got a chance to see that at the end of his career.
Chirinos now and gets a piece of that one. It's 0-2. All right, our TXU Energy power player to watch, Robinson Chirinos. When he's making contact lately, it's for extra bases. 7 of his 10 hits have gone for extra bases. His last 5, well, 3 homers and 2 doubles. Pops this one up. Chapman will watch that one sail into the seats.
Check out his home run last night. This tied the game at 3-3. That's a hanging curveball from Trevor Cahill. Stayed on the inside part of the plate. Robinson's eyes lit up when he saw that one.
Well, this ball hit hard out toward right field, heading into the corner. Piscotti, and he gets there to win the inning. Well, Beltre got on with the infield hit, but he can't move from there. We've played 2. Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer today. Well, just one hit apiece so far. We go to the third inning. Scoreless ball game tonight. Second game in our 3-game series. We'll wrap up this series tomorrow night out here at the ballpark. Chad Pender. Gonna keep your eye on this guy. He takes a strike. Pender now 7 for 7 in his career against Cole Hamels. You see guys have good numbers against dudes, but I mean, come on. 0-2.
7 for 7 with 3 doubles and 3 home runs. Held him to a single the first time up.
The 0-2 pitch.
After 7.
Yep.
You got to be kidding me. That's the
That is
hit batter in the last 5 batters.
Yeah, and not one of them is actually, I don't think, hit the human. We got like a shoelace, a batting glove, and now maybe the pants.
Well, this is a curveball that comes down and hits one of the feet. Man.
Well, you can see Hamels was awfully upset. And puts one on the corner to Jed Lowry for a strike. Lowry, the third place hitter, struck out in the first inning after a walk and a hit started the game. And that turned out to be a pretty big strikeout. 0-2.
The A's seem perfectly willing to let the ball hit them in the foot. It's not that hard to get out of the way of those balls if you choose to. But at the same time, when there's slow pitches like a curveball, if your reflexes allow you to just keep your foot there, it doesn't hurt that much. You get first base.
Pender may be the one guy who might have been better off to move. Lowry hits this one high in the air out to left, but Gallo underneath it. So 1 out here in the third inning. Let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, progressive fan of the game time. It is TWU night here at the ballpark, Texas Women's University. And so you couldn't decide whether to wear a Rangers shirt or a TWU shirt, so you did what?
I made custom shirts with TWU in the front and Rangers on the back.
Rangers on the back that match these really cool caps. And so I give this innovative fan and her friends the progressive fan of the game.
All right,
guys.
Congratulations.
Nicely done. Did anybody tell Emily about the cake and the sign the other day that John took advantage of? Our fan of the game had a great sign for Emily, and then cake that John decided he would just take himself. I don't blame him.
Yeah, John didn't take it when it was offered. He demanded that bundt cake.
Exactly. He kind of bartered the fan of the game for that cake. The 1-strike pitch. A little low to Chris Davis, and it's 1-1. Now, Hamels has dealt with some traffic here. 2 men on in the first, had 2 men in scoring position in the second, but worked around the trouble. Keep Pender a little bit closer.
You can see with these 3 hit batters, the A's lead the American League in on-base percentage, and a hit batter adds to that. So even though they don't have any runs yet and they only have 1 hit, their on-base percentage is pretty good so far in this game.
Davis swings and lofts this one out to Gallo again, and that is out number 2. All right, 2 away. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with the cake stealer, John Radigan. Nice of you to take a little time out of your dining. Thank you, John. It's Chapman now. Big swing and a miss. Chapman struck out in the first inning. And that was a strikeout to end the threat. 22nd time he has punched out this year. I mentioned at the time, a guy got off to a very hot start, but has cooled down appreciably since. And it's 1-1.
We haven't had a chance to see it yet, but the A's people just rave about Matt Chapman's defense at third base. We haven't had a chance to see him tested over there in the series yet. But he's got a great arm. I think he did some pitching in college and probably threw in the upper 90s. But all the A's people said in a short sample they haven't seen anything that would lead them to believe that he's not a future Gold Glover at third base. So we'll look out for that as the series goes on.
2-1. And that is high. He made a couple of plays in that 4-game series out in Oakland.
Did he?
That were pretty eye-opening. Yeah. And you're exactly right. It's the arm. I mean, he gets to balls. He's quick. He's got good footwork, but man, he has got a laser of an arm across the diamond. 3-1. And a ground ball up the middle. That one sneaks through. So the second hit of the night for Oakland. 2 men aboard again. So all 3 innings they've had 2 base runners.
Kind of hit it right off the end of the bat. Made some contact though. Was able to find a hole. A's have 4 players who've started every game this year: Semien, Chapman, Davis, and Lowry.
Olsen now, and shanks that one out of play. Now the A's are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far tonight. It's so early to have had that many opportunities, but so far Hamels has been able to battle them well in these spots. Olsen, I think he went to a full count on Olsen in the second inning before finally hitting him. When in there, the count 0-2. It was last year where Olsen made a big adjustment offensively, and it really seemed to click everything into place for him. And it's how he holds himself at the plate. He holds those arms and the bat right out over the plate. It is the weirdest sort of setup to start. Of course, it gets himself in a good hitter's position eventually, but
I remember when Carl Yastrzemski used to hold the bat pretty much as high as he could hold it, straight over his head and back. Julio Franco, of course, pointed the end of his bat right out toward the pitcher. But then as the pitcher got ready to pitch, they bring the bat down. Watch Olsen, what you're saying, Dave. It's out there, but now it comes back to where he wants it to be.
Missed this one. Pops it up to DeShields. And once again, Hamels works around a couple of base runners. So a scoreless top of the third. Still 0-0. Tomorrow night, Texas Chili Company $1 hot dog night. Rangers and A's, final game of this series. Come on out and join us and get your hot dogs for just $1 each. Tickets available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. And put whatever you want on your hot dog. Whatever makes you happy. Just enjoy yourself. Guzman to start things off here in the third inning and fouls away strike 2.
We had the ketchup mustard discussion last night. We can't go back-to-back days with that.
No, Lord knows we've we've gone to that old chestnut once or twice this year already. 0-2 pitch. 1-2. You want to bet that it comes up again though before the summer's done?
Oh yeah, it sure will.
I mean, there is another $1 hot dog night on May 9th. Just looking ahead. The 1-2 pitch.
I think one thing we could do is we could have a couple of hot dogs sent up to the booth, and you and Steve could see who could eat the hot dog the quickest, and I'll be the judge.
Why don't you join us?
I've already volunteered to be the judge.
2-2 on Guzman. Oh, it's fun
we were
tonight.
out in Oakland, and you know who Joey Chestnut is?
Oh yeah.
He was out. He threw out the first pitch for an A's game. The world champion hot dog eater.
Man, he is. That's disgusting what he does. Strike 3 called. Guzman down looking to start the third inning.
Well, Triggs throws a lot of curveballs and sliders, and so the fastball, which is about 90 miles an hour, is sneaky and looks quicker than it really is. There's one right down the middle of the plate. You can see it come off his hand, the spin, and the way it moves from left to right, the way it tails. That's his sinker, and he threw that one at a time where Ronald just wasn't ready for the fastball. He doesn't throw that many fastballs. Throws probably as many sliders and curveballs and changeups, more than he does fastball. Another one he snuck at the bottom of the strike zone.
He jumps ahead of Kiner Falefa. 0-2. Now our Lowe's whole team together. Look at these averages last 7 games for Rangers hitters. Kiner Falefa second on that list. And he hits this one down the right side, but foul. Oh, you kidding me? You already had it in your section.
I don't see any gloves out there.
Yep. Think she'll find somebody with a glove? That's the right move.
There's usually a guy down there, well, he's a little lower down there, that has a glove and gets multiple balls over the course of the season.
Kiner Falefa fights one off, keeps the count 0-2. There we go.
Yeah, there's a glove. Poised and ready.
Oh, that guy.
Another one. Poised and ready.
0-2. Ooh, a swing and a miss. So back-to-back strikeouts. That's 5 tonight for Triggs.
Triggs coming into the game had 3 starts against the Rangers and 1 relief appearance. He was 1-0 with a 1.02 earned run average. Had a pretty solid start earlier this season, in the season, against the Rangers. So he's been tough on the Rangers. He wasn't very tough on the White Sox, as we mentioned earlier. In his last start, 1 1/3, 5 hits and 6 runs.
The lineup turns over now, and he goes after the Shields with strike 1. Delano struck out on the first. 3 for 16 now for the season. Just recently activated off the disabled list. This one out to right field, right to Piscotty, and it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the third. So Triggs pitching this one in a rocking chair so far tonight. Kubota power stats for Hamels. Almost 61% first pitch strike rate. That's the highest since he has become a Ranger. So this year done a great job of getting that first one in there, although he misses to Mark Canha. And even better, opponents don't seem to do very well against that first pitch strike. 125 batting average against. But again, off on these first two to Mark Canha, who lined out in the second inning. Canha with a .351 average coming into play. And working on a 7-game hitting streak. He's the 7th place hitter, then Stephen Piscotty and Jonathan Lucroy. Last night's game went 3-3 to the 9th inning. And then Oakland opened it up in a hurry. 2-1 pitch and another strike. That'll even things up on Canha. Semien hit a leadoff home run in the 9th last night. They would end up scoring 6 runs in the 9th inning. Oakland on their way to the victory in game 1. Hamels to the plate, and that one fouled away. I made the point last night about Oakland that they have won all of these last at bat victories this year, 4 of them, including last night, and back-to-back games in which they did that. They ended their last homestand in similar fashion. They've scored 13 runs the last 2 games. 9 of them have been scored in their final at bat of the games. So I mean, I don't know what you can make of that, except maybe they're very patient. They're just waiting around.
Well, they're playing some good offense this year. I mentioned that they lead the American League in on base percentage, 2nd in batting average, 2nd in doubles, 3rd in runs scored, 3rd in home runs, 3rd in walks. They got a lot of good things going with their lineup. Question with the A's is their starting pitching problem, probably whether or not they'll have the depth and the talent to carry over 162 games. But it looks like their lineup will be pretty solid. Not sure Lowry can continue to swing the bat like he has in April, but still a solid offensive guy. You know, Chris Davis can. No one in baseball over the last few years has hit more home runs than he has. And Chapman and Olsen look like 2 good young players. Semien's coming into his own as an established shortstop. So they're not an easy lineup for a pitcher to face.
They've won 7 of their last 8 games to get over 500 now. 12 wins, 11 losses. Look at Semien and Lowry, middle infielders. 9th pitch of this at bat, and a bouncer by the mound to second. Kiner Falefa, tough bounce, but he throws out Canha to start the 4th inning.
Well, he had to charge that ball. Otherwise, you risk having the runner beat the play out. And as he's charging it, you hope you can charge it fast enough to get a hop that you can handle. And Isaiah charges this and comes after it so fast he gets it on a short hop. Not an easy short hop, but easier than if he was several feet behind that and it took a big hop. He had to get there quickly because Canha was getting down the line pretty well.
Piscotty lines it to third. Beltre there to make the leaping grab. 2 away.
Might not have been the hang time that Adrian had as a rookie, but it was good enough to make that play.
He got enough.
Both feet were off the ground.
That's right. I can still get up. So now Jonathan Lucroy.
Cole needs a quick out right here on the next pitch. Keep the pitch count down a little bit. Have a 11 or 12 pitch inning.
Right in there, 1-1 to Lucroy. Hamels got him to fly out to center in the second inning. This is the first time tonight that Hamels did not allow the leadoff man to reach. 1-1 pitch. Lucroy takes another strike. Apparently, Jonathan not interested in helping out with an aggressive swing to make it a quick at bat. He's struggled against lefties this year, 2 for 21. Just misses. Two outs, nobody on. Top of the fourth inning. And that is outside, so a full count. Third 3-ball count tonight for Hamels. And Lucroy pops this one up. Foul ground. Guzman is there, and the inning is done. It is a 1-2-3 for Hamels. So we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Shin-Soo Choo will lead it off. Then Nomar Mazara, the old fella, Adrian Beltre. Fireworks. Rangers and Red Sox on Friday, May 4th. And after the game, brilliant fireworks show. Check it out at TexasRangers.com for tickets or call 972-RANGERS. It's a 4-game series with Boston. What a night we have here tonight at Globe Life Park. Choo starting things off in the fourth and fouls away strike one.
Well, Andrew Triggs has thrown 42 pitches. 33 of them have been strikes. Only 9 balls. Well, he's at the top of his game. I can't imagine he had this stuff in his last start against the White Sox when he got bombed. Pretty small sample against the Rangers. It's been very good. Not really enough innings to determine anything from it, though. I just think he's probably got good stuff tonight, and he didn't have good stuff in his last start.
This one rolled up the middle. Base hit for Choo. Rangers' second hit of the night. More importantly, they have the lead man on in this fourth inning.
Choo, the last week or so, has hit a lot of balls to the left side of second base. Got a lot of empty spots out there. You could see that ball tailing away from him, and as a left-hand hitter, that's a pretty good approach to have. Don't try to pull that sinker that's tailing away. You'll probably hit it toward the end of the bat, hit a ground ball to the right side. Stayed with that one, hit that one solidly. Right to where the shortstop might have been in a normal configuration.
Well, base runner for Nomar Mazara. Nomar grounded out in the first inning, 0 for 1. 294 average coming into play today. Dips just a smidge after that ground out. Andrew Triggs, he has been in command tonight. A little bit low. It's 1-1. It's interesting in Triggs. You look back at, his career arc. It's a guy in the minor leagues. Made 167 relief appearances and 1 start as a minor leaguer. It's usually the opposite way. You start in the minor leagues and become a reliever in the big leagues. 1-2 the count. But he went a very different route. And last year, he started the year brilliantly for Oakland. Was 5-2, a 2.12 ERA after his first 8 starts. But then things went poorly for him. His final 4 starts, 0-4, an ERA approaching 10, and that's when he went on the disabled list. He had turns out a hip injury, and on June 10th, his season was done. He had surgery to repair the labrum in his left hip. 2-2. And so the season dramatically shortened last year. And obviously, I guess one would assume that those last 4 starts where the numbers went haywire on him, he was trying to pitch through that hip problem. Two. Mazara stays alive. It's one thing Oakland has done well over the years, is develop good young pitching.
See how the Ranger hitters fare the second time through the lineup. They've all seen his assortment of off-speed pitches one time. See if it makes any difference the second time through the lineup.
Strike 3 called. Mazara down looking. Close pitch. And another strikeout, 6th of the night for Triggs.
Take a look at some of the highlights. We've only played a little under 4 innings in this game, and already we've seen Adrian Beltre make plays and entertain. Good play. Tough hop. Last out of the inning. Line drive. A little bit of hang time to make that play. And to Jed Lowry up the middle. Can't quite make the play. Adrian beats it out for an infield hit. That was Jed Lowry. Nice play, but a little bit too quick to get caught on that play. So Adrian's jammed quite a bit into the first 3 innings of this ball game. So many people, Dave, that have watched Ranger baseball, not new Ranger fans, but people that have been here watching Ranger baseball for a long time. So many of them say, I don't think I've ever enjoyed watching a player play for the Rangers more than Adrian Beltre.
It'd be hard to. Bounces into a 5-4-3 double play, and that ends whatever threat the Rangers thought they may have had in the 4th. 4 scoreless innings in the books.
pitching in this game. Cole Hamels for the Rangers, Andrew Triggs for the A's. We've gone through 4 innings. Each team has only had 2 hits. 3 of them have been ground ball hits through the infield. Cole has pitched out of some jams nicely, used his changeup effectively tonight. Andrew Triggs, nice assortment of sliders and curveballs, an occasional sneaky fastball. And through 4 innings, Triggs has not walked a batter and struck out 5, and we're still looking for our first run in this ball game. There's the numbers. 4 innings, 2 hits for each team. Cole has walked a batter. Triggs has struck out 5 or 6. 6, I guess. Yeah. Six batters.
Really, the big difference when you look at the 2 performances is the pitch count. Hamels up over 75 at the moment. 1-1 pitch, and that is low to Simeon. So top of the order, Simeon, Chad Pinder, and Jed Lowry in this 5th inning. 3rd time through for Oakland. And that'll even it up at 2-2. Hamels, the 3 hit batters have cost him a lot of extra pitches tonight. Will pop up out to right field. Mazzara in a few steps. 1 out. So the Josh Abbott Band will be performing a post-game concert. That's going to be Sunday, May 6th, presented by Budweiser. It's a 2:05 game, the finale with the Red Sox. And then afterward, the concert on the field. Get your tickets and field passes at texasrangers.com/concerts. 1 away. And Pinder swings and misses. Pinder hit by a pitch the last time up. Fouls that one away. The count 0-2. Interesting with Hamels. 9 fly ball outs so far today. Couple on the ground, 2 strikeouts. So everything's, or almost everything, has been in the air. 0-2. And a little tapper foul. Pinder stays alive. So Tom, it's almost mathematically impossible, right, that Pinder would get a hit here?
I think what's more likely is after going 7 for 7, he's probably going to go about 0 for 32.
See, that
kind of
makes
even
sense.
it off. Things tend to even off if you give it enough time.
0-2. And a swing and a miss.
Hey, look at Cole reacts to it.
I got him.
He knows exactly what Pinder's done against him. Sometimes people say, I wonder if the pitcher knows that. Of course he knows it. He knows exactly what Pinder's done every time. It's 7 for 7, a single, 3 doubles, and 3 home runs. Watch him.
That's awesome.
Generally, you don't react like that to the 2nd out of the 5th inning. But under these circumstances, it's certainly warranted.
That's a page right out of Beltre's book right there. That was a great little celebration from Cole.
I like that.
It doesn't give you much, but that was a beauty. So 2 gone, and here is Jed Lowry.
Yeah, Cole is concentrating, serious, but you have to have a little room to let it off. And there he's saying, "Thank goodness I finally got that kid out."
Off the plate, he goes 2-0 to Lowry. Now Hamels has turned back the last 6 he has faced, and in fact 8 of the last 9 hitters. He's managed to get Lowry both times tonight. 2-0. That one well off the plate. So everything away in this at bat to Lowry. Lowry is switch hitter. Struck out and flied out, and that one up and away. So he walks him on 4 pitches. Oh, 2 outs and a base runner. Brings up Chris Davis. First, though, how about a word from our friends at Southwest Kia?
Designated hitter,
$250 down, $250 a month or less on select new Kias in stock only at southwestkia.com.
All right, so Hamels dealing with a base runner again, and Chris Davis, who is flat out both times up so far. 6 homers, 21 RBIs for Davis this year. And he takes low. Recently had an 8-game hitting streak snapped as well. Fouls this one away, 1-1.
That's newsworthy when it's Chris Davis. 5 straight games against the Rangers without a home run. That's the longest stretch since he's been facing the Rangers. Seems like there's been some times where he hasn't gone 5 at bats without hitting a home run.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he was somewhat quiet in that series in Oakland. And then yesterday, Davis had a 2-run double in the 3rd. He walked a couple of times as well. And it just seemed like a more productive night for him than we saw when we were in Oakland, but still pales to what we'd seen the last couple of years. And he would basically an impossible out, and he swings and misses here. Strikes out, 2 in the 5th. So Hamels with 4 strikeouts, including 2 in the inning.
A nice finish to that inning when you strike out Chris Davis, and another nice changeup, which has been a very effective pitch for Cole Hamels.
Rangers Joey Gallo up to bat, and you know, it seems there's no shortage of things that these guys can get their hands on, whether it be pieces of their uniform or things to put on their equipment. For Joey Gallo this season, it's these little rooster stickers to put on his bat with the number 13. Of course, rooster comes from gallo in Spanish, which is rooster, and so he got these cute little stickers made that he puts on the end of his bat. Who knew, guys?
Who knew?
We definitely didn't know that, Em. Thanks.
I guess I didn't know that gallo was rooster in Spanish. So there you go.
I thought it was gallina. Maybe that's something else.
3-0.
You know, when you played baseball and you don't know how to speak Spanish, but you know a few words, but you don't know what they mean,
Yep.
You're better off not saying them because there's no telling what exactly they are.
3-0 pitch.
I did that one time when I played in Maracaibo. We had a dinner at the governor's mansion in Maracaibo, and I'm not exactly sure who they were, but I met a lady and her little boy, and they didn't speak much English. I didn't speak much Spanish, but I knew a phrase that I thought meant something like
A fly ball out of the left field. Pinder takes care of it, 1 away.
I thought it meant punch in the nose.
Okay.
And so, kidding around with the little boy, I kind of patted him and said that. And the mother looked at me with this horrified look on her face, and I went, "Oh no, what have I said?" And so I went and asked one of the Venezuelan players what I said, and he started laughing. And he said, "Well, that's kind of what it meant, but there's a swear word in there with it." So you probably heard one of us say that, and you didn't get the entire meaning of what you were saying. By then it was way too late to go back and apologize.
So did she clutch her child and walk off?
No, she didn't smile. I know that, and looked at me, and we kind of had an awkward look at each other and parted ways.
That kid's telling that story right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my idol, Tom Grieve. He came here to play winter ball.
Tom Grieve. The funniest thing anyone ever said to me in Venezuela, I was walking down the street and they knew all the players, and this young kid who's probably about 15 wanted to come up and show off his English, and he goes, "Tom Grieve, what is your name?" He was probably trying to say, "What time is it?" or "How old are you?" He didn't know what it meant. So, "Tom Grieve, what is your name?" And I went, "Tom Grieve."
1-1 on Chirinos.
We had a blast down there, boy. For about a 3 or 4, I played 5 years, but there was about a 3 or 4 year period where anywhere from 8 to 12 current Ranger players played down there, many times on the same team. So we couldn't have had more fun. It's just a shame to see what's happened to Venezuela now. It wasn't like that at all when we were down there.
Well, a lot of guys you talk to have such great memories of playing down there.
Mm-hmm.
The topic that came up last night when Chirinos was at the plate in the 9th inning, and found out today, well, I think Emily may actually have an update for us on Chirinos' sister and her attempt as she seeks political asylum. Swing and a miss, count 3-2. All right, Emily, what's the latest?
Well, Robinson told me today she actually goes in tomorrow. Her appointment is in the morning in Houston. He said everyone obviously a little apprehensive and nervous, but anxious to get the process underway. So hopefully we'll know a little bit more tomorrow.
Well, that's good news. 3-2 pitch. There's a base hit out to right field, and there's a lot of room out there for Chirinos to run. He'll turn second and wisely return. No sense in heading for third with 2 outs. His 5th double of the year. He's in scoring position.
Well, both pitchers have had excellent stuff tonight, and they've really done a great job of, as they say, keeping the hitters off balance. And that's one of the few balls that has really been hit hard tonight. Nice line drive the other way. There's been a lot of balls where the hitters have gotten underneath them, grounders in the infield, but not a lot of balls that have been hit right on the barrel of the bat. That's one of them.
First time tonight that the Rangers have had a man into scoring position. Ronald Guzman sends that one to the left side, foul and out of play. Guzman on the 8th spot in the order. Yesterday the Rangers were 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Guzman pops this one up. Foul ground might be playable. Chapman is over, and he takes care of it to win the inning. So the Rangers come up empty in their half of the 5th. Still no score. teams locking horns in some pretty good battles this summer. Ohtani had the start tonight for the Angels. Here we're in the 6th inning. No score in this one. And Chapman rolls it on the ground. Shortstop.
Another weakly hit ball. Oh, look at that stretch. Oh, that hurt just watching that. Good gracious.
The Condor showing off.
Oh, man. I think every part of the inside of his legs from foot to foot touched the ground on that. That hurt just watching that. Fans love that one. Watch this. Oh. At no point in time in my entire life has my body ever been able to do anything close to that.
Wow.
Man.
That was a thing of beauty.
You really can't stretch any more than that. How many first basemen are taller with a bigger arm span than the Condor and can go down on the ground like that? It's just remarkable.
And it's one of those things that I don't think you can really practice. I mean, I know you can, but you never do, right? Like Guzman, maybe he's done that 15 times. Who knows in his career at first base? But I guarantee you, every single time was in the middle of a live play. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not doing that taking infield.
I'm sure he stretches, and he's confident he can do that. It's not like he's going to take that kind of a stretch and then worry about what's going to happen. He's confident he can do it without being hurt. But that is some pretty good flexibility for a guy who's about 6'5", 250.
Check swing. That's strike 2 on Olsen. Well, another nifty defensive play. Rangers really have done a nice job on this homestand. This ball on the ground again to Profile. We'll see if he makes it a little easier. He does. 2 away.
As Jurickson gets used to playing every day at the same position, which really is something he hasn't had the opportunity to do at the big league level, the one thing that he's kind of zeroing in on is the accuracy of his throws. He's had some plays where he's gone to his left, plays where he's charged. Throws have been a little bit off target. So as time goes on, you would think he becomes more and more used to playing shortstop, and the throws become a little bit more accurate, one right after the other.
Marcana, fly ball out to right field. Mazzara racing back to the wall, and in and out of his glove. That is a home run.
Wow, I thought he caught it.
And Canna has started the scoring tonight. His 3rd home run of the year. Oakland leads 1-0.
Boy, that did not look like a home run coming off the bat. It looked like a solidly hit fly ball, but he hit it a little bit better than it looked. The ball was a line drive, not a fly ball, so it carried pretty well. Fastball out over the plate. Pretty good pitch to hit. And watch this. Boy, that ball was right in his glove. I think Nomar thought he caught it. It's not like it went off the end of the glove. He got it. Kind of hit the heel of his glove and rolled through the pocket of his glove and out of the end of it. Boy, that would have been a nice highlight play. We've kind of highlighted the defense before the game. We've had some nice defensive plays tonight, and that would have been one to put right up there with Delano DeShield's catch the other day. Almost caught it.
Now the 1-strike pitch to Piscotty, and he's in a hole 0-2. Man alive, so close. So Oakland, a run on 3 hits. Rangers no runs on 3 hits. The 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that will end it. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Marcana, it's the A's on the board first. The Fans' Choice 20-game plan, the most flexible way to enjoy the 2018 Rangers season. Choose the 20 games that work best for your schedule. If you can't make it to one of the games, no big deal. The 20-game plan includes a flexible exchange policy. For all the details and benefits, it's online, TexasRangers.com/20-game plans. All right, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leading off the 6th inning. Struck out in the 3rd inning. Taps this one toward 3rd. And a high hop for Chapman makes for an easy play. 1 away here in the 6th. All right, Tom, you had sort of suggested a little bit ago, hey, maybe the 2nd time through the order, see if the Rangers make some adjustments, maybe having seen Triggs a little bit, it'll get a little better. They did have a couple of hits that 2nd time through. Now the 3rd time through here.
Let's see. Well, Triggs has been very good tonight, that's for sure. He's only thrown 68 pitches as well.
Well, DeShields with a bunt first base side, and there's no chance with that one. Bunt single for DeShields. And now you've got some good speed out there.
That was a base hit the minute the ball hit the ground. You could tell it was going to roll far enough where the pitcher was going to have a hard time. And once Matt Olson, the first baseman, made a play to come in, there was a base hit. There was no way the pitcher was going to be able to field it, cover first. Only chance is if Olson stayed at first and somehow the pitcher flipped it with his glove. We'll see if Triggs can hold Delano at first base.
Folks have run on Andrew Triggs in his career, and Lucroy behind the plate yesterday allowed a handful of stolen bases for the Rangers. They'll try and do their best to keep Delano maybe a half step closer to the bag. Lucroy, he's thrown out 184 would-be base stealers since 2010. That's most in Major League Baseball. The Rangers, though, have been aggressive running against him. That one comes inside and gets chewed.
Well, the A's have used the hit by pitch tonight. Haven't done much with it, but hopefully the Rangers will be able to do something with that one. That one just got away from Triggs. It was way inside. Doesn't shy away from that one, just kind of turns, hits the back of his leg, and off he goes.
So 3rd time through the order, bunt single, hit batter. And now it's Mazara's chance. 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. And time called. That time was called there by 2nd base umpire Sean Barber, who wanted to move to the other side of 2nd base because he was standing right in front of Delano and the shortstop Marcus Semien. There you go. So he just rearranged himself. Up high, that one gets away from Lucroy, and both runners will move up. So now DeShields at 3rd to the potential go-ahead run in scoring position on what, I don't know, it'll be a wild pitch.
Yeah, and it's not that the Rangers have pounded the ball the 3rd time through the lineup, but Triggs doesn't look like he has the same command that he had 2 times through the lineup through the first 5 innings. Pitch to Chu was way inside. This one is so high that Lucroy almost has to jump for it, can't get to it. So a good position for the Rangers to be in right here. A's have the infield back up the middle, back of the bases at 1st and 3rd. So pretty good opportunity right here to pick up a run if Nomar can put the ball in play.
1-0, and that is outside, so 2 balls and no strikes. Boy, a lot better with runners on base this year for Nomar. Not a huge surprise. He is a guy who has shown us an ability in these very early stages of his career to drive in runs. 101 RBIs last year. Chance to drive in a couple right now. Two and one. Mazara is still 22 years old. Today, Tuesday, Thursday, our off day. Mazara will turn 23. That's just remarkably young for all the experience and accomplishments that he's already been able to collect here at 22 years old. Big fella, 6'4", 215 pounds. Off the plate, it's 3-1. We were talking earlier about the Condor, Ronald Guzman, and his great stretch at first, how big he is. He and Nomar go back to their early teenage years. They played together as 14-year-olds in the Dominican. Great friends and long-time teammates. 3-1. Mazara rips it foul. Look out. Also, two young guys who have kind of brought back cool nicknames again. They hit the Condor, which is about as awesome a nickname as you can come up with, and the Big Chill.
Yeah.
Well, the Shields at third, Chu at second base, and with the pause in play, we're going to get a mound visit for Oakland. And recognize the importance of this situation. A couple of relievers loosening up in the bullpen. Scott Emerson out there. You see Ryan Dole and Lou Trevino, the guy facing, yeah, there we go, number 62, just called up today. Yusmeiro Petit, who we saw last night, was placed on the bereavement list today by Oakland, and Trevino added to the 25-man roster. There's DeShields, a bunt single to start the inning. Off that guy, Andrew Triggs. Triggs take a long time between pitches. Here's the payoff, and that's ball 4. They are loaded up.
Well, it makes sense that under those circumstances you would pitch carefully to the third place hitter Nomar Mazara, set up the possibility of a double play. But from a Ranger perspective, there's no one they'd rather have at the plate right now with the bases loaded than Adrian Beltre.
A chance to give this team, this offense, a real big lift right here. Inside, ball 1. Rangers got off to a really tough start this year with the bases loaded, but they are 1 for their last 1. So they are locked in now in these spots. At least that's what we're banking on. Here's the 1-0. Inside, that might have gotten a piece of him. Just missed him. Triggs had made it look very easy the first 5 innings.
Again, third time through the lineup, the Rangers have had success, but not because they're pounding the ball, because Triggs doesn't have the same command that he had the first 5 innings.
2-1 the count. And it's not like 70 some odd pitches is a ton for Triggs. He's thrown over 90 in 2 of his 4 starts this year. It's not like he's hitting a wall per se, or you wouldn't imagine. It is as deep as he has gone, though, in terms of innings. The 2-1. High fly ball. Canna over. So is Piscotty from right. He gets in a good position. Delano tags. He heads to the plate. He'll score easily. And with the throw coming through, it allows Chu to get to third base. And who knows, that might be a big play. But a sac fly ties this game at 1.
See the slider outside, stayed up, out over the plate. Adrian gets underneath it, but he gets enough distance. You don't need a lot of distance, actually, to score Delano from third base, but he certainly had enough to do it. 4th sac fly of the year for Beltre, and now here's the Rooster. Joey Gallo 0 for 2. He hits ball on the ground, right side, but Lowry is there, and that ends the inning. The Rangers tie it up, though, on the sac fly by Beltre. We're even at 1. Go to the 7th. Sponsored by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer today. And by Sling TV. Live TV you love, only better. Well, some good pitching tonight. A 1-1 ball game as we move it along to the 7th inning. Jonathan Lucroy will lead it off against Cole Hamels. And you can see 101 pitches tonight, just short of his season high. I think normally early in the year that would probably be a pitch count that would bring in a relief pitcher. But circumstances are a little bit different. Cole has had the rest. The bullpen could use an extra inning. And he's throwing the ball really well right now.
Fly ball out to right. Whoa, a little miscommunication into Shields. Dropped it. And heading all the way to third is Jonathan Lucroy. The throw. Got him! Wow. Are you kidding me?
What a comeback. Although Lucroy stayed at third, he doesn't think he's out.
That's an unconventional way to get the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that was one that was probably Mazzara's ball, and the way he backed off at the end, you would have to think Delano was calling him off. It's a center fielder's job to be the traffic cop out there and take what he can get. You can see Delano yelling for it, and that was probably an easier play for Mazzara in right field. Looks like there'll be no appeal, but Kiner Falefa with a nice throw and a beautiful pickup by Adrian.
Adrian, I think, took a spike to the back of his calf here, right there. Jeez.
Wow, that's some kind of play. You go from, oh, there's an out. Oh, no, could be a triple to it is an out.
So a double, and then the out goes 8-4 to 5. For those of you trying to keep a clean, organized book. And so now back to the top of the order, and Simeon takes it high. It's 1-1. That was a strange way to start the 7th inning. And Hamels finds the outside corner. Well, he walks Simeon in the first, since gotten him to ground out and fly out. This ball hit well down the left field line. Gallo on the run, and he'll have to take it on the carom. And so Simeon has a 1-out double. Well, how big is that throw to third base now?
And we were talking last night with Matt Moore. He threw a lot of pitches in, fastballs and cutters, and the A's took some pretty good swings at what looked like pretty good pitches. And tonight Cole has really stayed away from the inside part of the plate. This pitch looked like a cutter, and it was in, and it's one where Simeon didn't have his normal swing, just kind of hacked at it, but still drove it over Gallo's head for a double. Cole has had a lot of success today keeping the ball away from the A's, throwing a lot of cutters that have come back and caught the outside corner. He's had a really good changeup, mixed in some good curveballs. Just been a nice outing with a good assortment of well-located pitches. But it looked like he did, until that pitch, pretty much stay away from the inside corner or a couple of inches inside.
With Chad Pinder coming up, we don't need to go into that history. Jeff Bannister sees the opportunity to make the move. Nice round of applause for Cole Hamels as Matt Bush comes on.
He leaves after 6 1/3. He had 5 strikeouts in the ball game. There's a good fastball tailing down and away. Changeup down, another changeup. Good hard slider, maybe a cutter, and a nice curveball down and out of the strike zone. So good assortment of pitches for Cole tonight. Threw over 100 pitches, got through 6 1/3. Very positive outing. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. The runner at second, of course, is his responsibility. Matt Bush out there trying to put out the fire.
Well, the other thing he accomplished tonight too is he retired Chad Pinder.
That's big.
and Pender's been lifted for Matt Joyce here. Pinder had been 7 for 7 against Hamels before he struck him out in the 5th inning, but Pinder also hitless against righties, so he is out as Bush comes on. You can see fastball, curveball, slider for Matt Bush. And he will contend with Joyce. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
Pop that one in there at the upper 90 range.
Matt Joyce has been a frequent pinch hitter for Oakland. And in his career, he's done a great job in that role. Takes just off the plate. That one at 99 and barely missed the edge.
Yeah, that was 99, and then the late movement on it is what probably took it out of the strike zone by an inch or two. That's probably the best velocity we've seen from Matt this year.
Eighth pinch hit appearance this year for Joyce, most in the league, and a breaking ball is in. Well, he does not have a hit this year with a runner in scoring position. 0 for 10 in these spots. Semien, the man out there at second base. A 1-1 game in the 7th. Here's a 2-2. That's a full count. There's the hottest hitter in the American League. Jed Lowry waiting on deck. Timeout asked for and granted. Vic Carapazza, our plate umpire tonight. There's the 3-2. Check swing. That one bounces. Did he go on the check swing? No. Nope, that's a walk. So Joyce is on. And you know, Bush did not want to walk him there, but it does set up a potential double play now.
And Matt got ahead with a fastball, just missed with that 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and then tried to put Joyce away with a hard curveball several times and just wasn't quite able to locate it close enough to get Joyce to swing.
So conversation out of the mound as both Beltre and Chirinos went out there. 1 out in the inning, and you mentioned the chance for a double play. For whatever reason, Oakland as a team, they hit into a ton of double plays. They've hit into 21 this year, and that is tied for most in all of Major League Baseball. The Marlins have also bounced into 21, and Lowry, a guy who has done it quite a bit in his career. Not a lot of speed. Shoots this one though in the air, and DeShields has to angle back, and it goes over his head. That's trouble. Semien scores. Joyce will be stopped around third. Oakland back in front. It's 2-1 on the Lowry double.
Well, Lowry just has that solid gap power. He's not a home run hitter, although he can hit a home run. But he hit 49 doubles last year. He's probably on his way to hitting over 40 doubles this year. And this is how he does it, left-handed and right-handed, driving the ball into the gaps, many times the opposite gap. Delino gave it a gallant effort, but just wasn't quite able to get there.
I don't think Delino thought that was going to carry as far as it did.
No, I don't think so either.
Angle out sharply there at the end. So everybody up on the edge now with second and third, 1 out, and here's hard-hitting Chris Davis. You said it earlier, Tom, nobody with more home runs than Chris Davis over the last couple of years in baseball, and he has done a lot of his damage against the Rangers. quiet in this series, 0 for 3 tonight. A big swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Well, Oakland got a run in the 6th, the home run by Canna. That started the scoring. Rangers came back to tie it. Now a snap throw down to third, and they got him.
Yes, sir.
Joyce just a little too far off the bag, and what a great throw by Robinson Chirinos.
Yeah, they had that plan. They might take a look at it, but that was a strong throw and a great tag by Beltre, who caught the ball and slapped it down as quickly and as hard as he could. The A's are checking their replay to see if they want to challenge it. There's a look at it. They're not going to challenge it. Good call, great play. Boy, that's a big out right there. Wasn't easy for Robinson to navigate that throw. Davis' bat was there. Robinson's hand on the follow through hit the bat. Still delivered a strong, accurate throw.
Now the 2-1 to Davis, and he'll pop it foul out of play.
But you've got your big RBI guy up there, man on second and third and one out, and on the pickoff throw from the catcher, that one run at third is erased.
Both outs this inning.
Run.
Both outs this inning have been on the bases.
That's right.
And both of them down there at third.
Both at third base.
Here's a 2-1. Davis hits it sharply on the ground. Profar gathers it on one hop. Throws out Davis, and the inning is done. Hey, look, Oakland takes the lead with the run. Boy, but the damage really limited by the Rangers D. Enjoy your next Rangers game in the comfort of a climate-controlled suite. Most suite rental packages include parking and a food and beverage package as well. Just go to texasrangers.com/suites or call 972-RANGERS. Get yourself set up. Come out and join us. Profar stands in and takes strike one. Matt Joyce stays in the game. He's in left field, as one might imagine. And Ryan Dole, first man up out of the bullpen tonight for Oakland. He's ahead here, 0-2.
A couple of years ago, Dole was one of the more effective setup relievers in the league. Threw a lot of innings, had a lot of success. Trying to regain that form.
Count stays 0-2. Well, we saw Dole last night for a scoreless inning.
Yeah. One of those guys, when you watch him throw, it looks like the ball has more velocity than radar gun reads. That one came in at 90 miles an hour, but it looked, and watching the swing, like it was harder than that.
Not a real big guy. When you think of today's age, a lot of times you're looking for big, tall, hard throwers, and there aren't that many little guys who really bring it. Although if you're pitching in the big leagues, generally speaking, you are bringing it. Fly ball out into left field. Joyce with his first opportunity of the night. I just happened to notice the smaller fellas like Dole, 5'9", a little over 180 pounds.
I'd say you're more apt to find, just guessing, more apt to find a short left-handed pitcher than a short right-handed pitcher for whatever reason. Don't ask me why, but
28 years old. Dole gets a first out here in the 7th, and now Chirinos. Good breaking ball in there for a strike. Well, it's been a quiet night for the Rangers offensively. Just 4 hits so far tonight. And this one hooked down the third baseline, foul. Chirinos, in fact, with one of those 4 hits, and it was the only extra base hit that the Rangers have tonight. 2 of their 4 hits are infield hits. Beltre in the 2nd inning, and then DeShields with that bunt. Up high, it's 1-2. Another thing about Dole that will always follow him and remain a point of interest is this ball hammered down the left field line. Deep but foul. Stays 1-2 and the race is on. Oh boy. This is a 32nd round pick, Dole, back in 2012. You don't see a ton of 32nd or 30+ rounders make it to the big leagues. This one fouled back our direction. 1-2. The count remains on Robinson. Ooh. 2-2. Dole was on the disabled list earlier this year. 10-day DL. It's the 3rd time he has pitched since coming off. Had the strained right shoulder. As part of his rehab, pitched a few times at AAA Nashville. (3-2). And that is high. He walks Chirinos. Got ahead of him. 0-2, but loses him. And so the Rangers have a big base runner in the 7th inning. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan. Nobody more gregarious than our own John Radigan. As Guzman Went around. That's a strike.
Gregorius is in a great situation in that lineup. Everybody pays so much attention to Judge and Stanton, and he just kind of sits in the middle and picks up the pieces. Boy, he's become an excellent offensive shortstop, power hitting shortstop, run producer.
Well, this ball hit high in the air down the right field line, and it'll be trouble, but in foul ground. Lowry does get to it. 2 out.
The second baseman, Isaiah Kiner.
Yeah, you can, in that lineup now in New York, you can sneak guys like Gary Sanchez in there under the radar, who's, I mean, a tremendous hitter.
Yeah, when you look at those 4 guys, take Stanton and Judge, it's not outrageous to say they both have a chance to hit 50 home runs.
No.
Since they've done it before. And then you look at Gregorius and Sanchez, it's not outrageous to say they could hit 30 home runs. That's 160 home runs right there, just with 4 guys. And they've got other guys in the lineup that are solid too. Miguel Andujar, Gleyber Torres are 2 young players that they've got, developing young players. They've actually got a very young team. Brett Gardner's a veteran big leaguer at the top of the order.
Well, they're going to score some runs. Yeah. 1-1 now to Kiner Falefa. It's the other thing. Wait till it starts to warm up. I mean, so many of these teams have been playing in brutal weather.
There was another couple rainouts tonight. The Tigers got rained out in Pittsburgh. I think there was another rainout somewhere. Yeah, the weather has been very tough. It's tough to gauge averages for some of the hitters who, for the whole month of April, have played in temperatures between 30 and 40 most of the time. Compared to a lot of teams, the Rangers have been very fortunate. Rangers have played 24 games. Minnesota's played 17.
Yeah, and I think that, number one, that Rangers have been able to play in relatively decent weather, and then had the 2 extra innings games that have gone 10 innings. Some of these teams, Oakland's played in some marathon games already, 14 innings. You talk about stressing out a bullpen. Kiner Falefa down the right field line, but that one ends up in the stands. It's 2-2. And when it comes to travel, I thought it was an interesting note with regard to Oakland. Last night's game was the first that they had played this year outside the Pacific time zone. They've been basically on the West Coast for the first full month of the season. Now, this is the beginning of a long trip for Bob Melvin and his crew. 2-2 pitch, ground ball, shortstop. Simeon scoops it out to second, and that will do it for the Rangers in the 7th inning. We go to the 8th, Oakland leading by a run.
And let's take a little bit of a look at some of the defense in tonight's game. Starting with a little bit of flair at third base for Adrian Beltre. Turns a routine catch into something a lot of fun. Jerks in profile with a throw that sails, and the Condor, Ronald Guzman, goes into the stretch of the year. This one started out as a bad defensive play, but because of two good relay throws and a great tag at third base by Adrian Beltre, it turns into an excellent defensive play. Jonathan Lucroy out trying to stretch that into a triple, and then cap off the defense tonight with a nice pickoff throw at third base by Robinson Chirinos, cut down maybe another run. Jake Diekman on to start the 8th inning for the Rangers. He features a fastball in the mid-90s, throws it 64% of the time, and also a slurter. A slurter.
I like a slurter.
I was going to say hard slider. It came out a slurter. He throws that about 36% of the time. So pretty much with Jake Diekman, if you're the hitter, you can look for two pitches, fastball or a slider.
Check, please. Here's the 1-0. And fouled back out of play. 1-1 on Matt Chapman. That's got to go in the baseball
on the
lexicon right there. Slider. I'm down. I like it. It's so good. I mean, it's a hard slider, man. It's a slider. You can't hit this thing. That's got legs, Tom.
Well, I'll know how much you like that if I hear you use it sometime down the road. Personally, I'm going to try to forget it.
2-1 Oakland. It's funny, we've talked a little bit in this series about this young Oakland team and the offense, and they are good. And they're winning tonight, but just 2 runs on 6 hits. And last inning was fabulous. When was the last time you saw a team hit 3 doubles and get a walk in an inning and only get 1 run out of it?
Yeah, not very often.
3-1. And there's ball 4. So Chapman walks to start the 8th inning. We're talking about this offense. You look at how they rank. Now this is all major league teams. Best on base over 350. Hitting 274 as a crew. 29 homers. Yeah, this is a well-balanced, really good offense. Maybe not a ton of speed. That's about as picky as you can get. Way inside. Diekman misses with ball 1. Olsen did not strike out yesterday. We talked about that his first time up. He's not struck out today. And the last time he went without a strikeout was April 3rd. This is a guy who likes to swing. I mean, he's up there hunting the pitch to hit. He has struck out 34 times coming into play today. That's most in the American League. Diekman's 1-1. There's a swing and a foul tip. There might be some streaks in his game early on from Matt Olson. But the A's have seen plenty from him to indicate that he's a guy, as he continues to develop, who could be a real big part of their infield and their offense going forward. This one lifted out to left field. Hanging up there a bit. Gallo going back, looks up, and that one is off the scoreboard. Around third base, Chapman. He'll score. No throw offered. Olsen drives him in with that booming double. And it's 3-1 Oakland.
There's another deceptively hit ball. Smooth swing on a slider out over the plate. Looked like it might be a ball that Joey could handle, and it just kept going till it got to the wall. Ball carried well. It's a pretty good pitch down and away. Just didn't look like the kind of pitch and the kind of swing that was going to result in a ball shooting off the wall in left field. But that ball carried all the way to the middle of the scoreboard out there. Shows the strength that Olsen has.
Chapman runs well, and that was an easy one for him as Mark Canha takes low. 3 runs, 7 hits. A's have scored a run in each of the last 3 innings now, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Canha started it, as you saw right there, in the 6th inning with that solo homer. And that ball was very close to being an out. Zara had it in his glove over the fence. Just couldn't quite bring it back.
Kind of hit the heel of the glove, rolled through the pocket of the glove, and right out the tip of his glove past the fingers. He came down from the jump, looked in his glove, thought he might have caught it. Felt like he caught it, I'm sure.
Good, that one's in there. 1-2 the count on Canha. So in your days, Tom, did you rob anybody of home runs?
I had one when the Yankees were playing, when they were renovating Yankee Stadium. They played a couple of years, at least 1 year, maybe 2, at Shea Stadium. And I had one ball in right field that Bobby Mercer hit, where you get back to, it wasn't that hard a play. I had plenty of time to get back to the wall, and then you just jump as high as you can and catch the ball. It's really, it looks good, but it's really not that hard to play. But the good part about that one is they caught it in the newspaper. It had a picture of it, so I still have a picture of that play.
Oh, nice.
Had some where, you know, you thought you had a chance, jumped and never came down with them. The ones that are the truly great ones are when the outfielder is running as fast as he can and jumps as high as he can right as he gets to the wall. Those are the hard ones.
Strikeout, first out of the inning. That's the play we were talking about in the 6th.
He drives it to right field. Nomar plays it well. That was a tough one. That's when he's on the run, jumps as high as he can. And I don't know if when his wrist hit the wall, if it turned his glove and made the ball fall out of his glove. It probably had something to do with it. Not another one.
Boy, Piscotty takes another one off the foot. He was hit earlier tonight.
That's the fourth hit by pitch, and most of them have been, well, one was inside. Most of them have been off the foot, breaking balls down.
Well, at least that was a direct hit. The other one seemed to have skimmed a shoe top or grazed a batting glove, but that was pretty flush. Olsen at second, Piscotty at first for Jonathan Lucroy, who has fared a lot better off right-handed pitching than he has lefties. And he's in a hole 0-1. So taking away a home run then as an outfielder, to me, I mean, it looks like it's like the dunk of Major League Baseball, right? I mean, that would be fun in the NBA to dunk. Yeah. But throwing out a runner on the bases got to be pretty close too, right?
Yeah, that feels great too. I love watching an outfielder with a great arm. We had the benefit of watching Leonis Martin here for several years, and he threw as well as any center fielder and had many plays where he made throws that you just marveled at. How in the world did he ever throw that guy out? He had the ability to charge it, get rid of it quickly, throw it accurately, and throw it hard.
Another high fly ball out to right field, and DeShields back there this time to make the play. 2 gone. Olsen drifted off second, so had to return.
That ball carried well to right center field, right to the 377 mark, and then it juts out at the globe life sign. And Delino goes right to that 377 sign and then a little bit past it in front of the globe of Globe Life, and makes a nice play right up near the wall. You had to go a long way to make that play. Good concentration. Catches it right in front of the wall.
Speaking of guys stealing home runs, Delano did that in that series against Seattle on Sunday. What a great play. Here's Marcus Semien. Very high for a ball.
I like watching the highlights of guys throwing people out of the plate. Yoenis Cespedes throws a lot of guys out. Yasiel Puig throws a lot of guys out. Bo Jackson had some incredible throws. Just to name some, you go back a ways. Ellis Valentine in the old days with Montreal Expos had as good an arm as in right field as anybody. And if you go way back, well, not way back, but back to the 70s, 60s, Reggie Smith, when he came up with the Red Sox playing right field, had a tremendous arm.
Ichiro and more recent memory.
Yeah, Ichiro for sure. Strong, accurate arm.
Two balls and a strike on Semien. He had one of the 3 doubles last inning, and he scored the 1 Oakland run in the inning. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball, shortstop. Profar is there. Underhands it to second, and the inning is done. And Oakland has added a run. They lead it 3-1. Well, we're going to the bottom of the 8th, but it's going to be the top of the order. Delano DeShields, Shin-Soo Choo, and Nomar Mazara coming for the Rangers. Sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, Delano on the first pitch stings a ball, but right to the shortstop, Marcus Semien, for out number 1.
And with a couple of lefties coming up, I don't know if it's going to be a left-hand pitcher. They've only got one in the bullpen, but that's going to be it for Ryan Dole.
A smile on his face. He did a nice job in relief. Turns it over to the rest of the A's bullpen from here. Rangers trying to get after it here. Hey, MLB At Bat, your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Rangers home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, highlights, stats, news, and really a whole lot more. Download the MLB At Bat app today. All right, Chu stepping in here. Blake Trinan takes over with only 1 out here in the 8th inning.
Trinan came over from Washington last year.
Oh, and he takes a liner right off the leg, and it bounces over to first. Chu slides under the tag, rolls over, and he is safe. Wow, what a slide.
I hope Trinan's okay, because that ball was smoked by Shin Su. That hit him hard. I'm going to have to shake that off to be able to stay in this game.
Well, you can see a discernible limp, and his trainer with a concerned look on his face. Yeah, that was flush.
Oh, that hit solid. That didn't hit muscle. That hit bone. That's a nice, evasive slide by Shin Su. Yeah, that's going to be it. I don't see how that Trinan could stay in the game after taking that shot.
105 miles per hour off the bat. Yeah, that's an obvious limp.
Pretty good to be walking off the field, really.
So he's done. Bob Melvin has to go deeper into that bullpen. His race to the bag. 3-1 A's lead. Rangers have a man on. The play he's talking about is the hit he just had a moment ago off Blake Trinan.
Yeah, this is 105 miles an hour, and it looked like it hit him right off the shin. And Chu, with a great slide to the inside of the bag, is safe at first base. Well, we talked about in the pregame show a couple of days ago, or maybe it was in the, yeah, I think it was a pregame show, about the play Andrew Benintendi had at first base. And the rule is that once the fielder makes a move toward the runner, he doesn't have to reach out to tag the runner, but once he starts his move to the runner at that position, wherever the runner is, you take a straight line from the runner to the base, and he can go outside of that line by 3 feet. And the umpires ruled that Benintendi went more than 3 feet out, that he was out of the baseline. Judgment call, it's not reviewable. And Chu had to go a little bit, veer a little bit to the left of his straight line to the bag, but obviously was within 3 feet, and he was safe at first base.
Yeah, the challenge for me on those, I love now that, you know, it's been discussed at length. We've worked over it several times up here in the booth, and it was interesting that Chu's was a similar one. But now that you really understand the rule, and we have a clear understanding how that works. The question is, what moves 3 feet to either side of that baseline, right? The center mass of the guy? I mean, what is, you know, the furthest extremity?
Every part of his body has to be more than 3 feet?
Like, yeah, I guess you would think maybe all of him would have to be outside of that. So the play on Saturday that was the difference in that no-hitter, initially called safe, ultimately ruled out. I think we can take a look at it. So this is the play.
Yeah, and watch, the line starts when the fielder makes his move to the bag. So right here, right here. Now you take a straight line from the runner to the base, and he can go 3 feet.
There you go, little line.
3 feet to the right of that. That line from him to the base, because he started his tag. And the distance between those two lines is 3 feet. So he's somewhere in here. And the question is that you just asked, Dave, his feet were probably more than 3 feet, but maybe his shoulders weren't. So that's the next part. Yeah.
Because I don't think you could argue that his entire body got outside.
It didn't look like it, no.
So here's Mazzara, and first a check-in of Chu. Meanwhile, the new pitcher, Lou Trevino, just called up today, activated from AAA Nashville, his second stint with Oakland.
A lot of teams employ Rich Marazzi, who's a rules expert. He might know the rule book as well as anybody, other than maybe some of the all the umpires probably, but he gave a great explanation of that play. But we still would have your question for him. Exactly what constitutes the body being 3 feet away? Any part of it or all of it?
1 ball, 1 strike on Mazzara. And there's no win, right? I mean, it seems like every time you see, you know, one of these unique plays parsed by the scorebook and then applied, there's this layer upon layer of questions that you can put on them. Umpires are amazing. 1-1.
Yes, every now and then someone will have a question for an umpire, and we'll go down to the umpire's room or call the umpire's room, and you think you've got a question that's going to dumbfound the umpire. Right. And the minute you ask the question, bang, there comes your answer. I asked one of the umpires, Gary Cederstrom, a question the other day. Can a fielder use a first baseman's mitt in the outfield?
The answer is no, right?
The answer is no. I didn't know that. I thought, what's the difference? Why would you want to use an outfielder's glove in the outfield? But no, you can't do it. Yeah, an outfielder can wear a first baseman's mitt, but he has to be playing first base.
Yeah. Yeah, for whatever reason, the first baseman's mitt limited to that guy playing first. Whatever. I mean, it's that seems arbitrary to me, but it is the rule. The rule that CJ and I have kind of wondered about every now and again is the throwing the glove at the ball in play, the 3-base error as it goes down in the rule book. If you're an outfielder and you're underneath the ball, it's about to go over the fence, you throw your glove up and knock it down.
Why not?
Yeah, right. I mean, it seems like that's a smart.
Might as well try it.
Yeah.
The only problem would be if the ball hit your glove and carried your glove into the stands, and now you're out in the outfield without a glove. That'd be a little bit of a problem. Come in to get a glove, and the umpire goes, no, 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 get back. You forfeited your chance to have a glove.
That would be great. Trevino's 2-2. Oh, called strike 3. Snuck it in the back door. And that is the second out of the inning.
Tough pitch for a hitter, but you see the curveball start outside and kind of drop right down on the outside corner. And he gets the call.
Now Beltre. Adrian with a sac fly. Back in the 6th inning, that's the only Rangers run so far. And pulls that one foul. So Trevino, big fellow, 6'5", listed at 240 pounds. He's 26 years old. From Pennsylvania. Lives in Green Lane, Pennsylvania. Sounds awfully pleasant to me. 11th round pick back in 2013. Ooh, time called right as the big right-hander was starting his delivery. So when you know, he was born in Sellersville, Pennsylvania, now lives in Green Lane and went to Slippery Rock. All seem like notable places to me. 1-1. You got to mix in like a Bowling Green or something in there. Then you go for the cycle. Off the plate with that one. 2-1 to Belcher, who has a hit, also bounced into a double play prior to a sac fly. Mentioned earlier tonight, Trevino called up because Yusmeiro Petit was placed on the bereavement list today. 2-1 and a big swing and a miss. Well, that one at 98 miles per hour. Let's see what he did at Nashville. Pretty good.
Yeah, 5 1/3, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. This guy seemed like he was destined to be here pretty soon anyway, with or without bereavement leave.
Now he's trying to get this one to the 9th inning. The 2-2. Beltre stays alive. Now he lost his bat on that one. Sounded like it broke.
98 miles an hour up and in. He's lucky he hit that ball. It might have hit him in the ribs. Like a heat-seeking missile.
39-year-old Adrian Beltre. One big swing could tie it up. And he takes low, just a smidge low. It's a full count. Beltre has the 1 home run this year. Trevino's 3-2. And this one out to the power alley, right center field. That one's going to get down and roll to the wall. Chu should score easily. Beltre stopped at first. And there may be something wrong. That doesn't look good. It's a 3-2 game.
Right out of the batter's box. Looked like a leg injury. What an at-bat for Adrian. Guy's never seen the guy before. He's throwing 98 miles an hour. Fouled off a pitch up and in, and then strokes a double off the wall in right center field. And that doesn't look good.
No, he knew it. Walks down into the dugout and heads to the clubhouse.
And you know, he's had a lot of running to do tonight. That if this was going to happen, you would think it might have happened the time where he beat out the infield hit to Jed Lowry and then went first to third and had to go back when the catcher threw it over the pitcher's head. But, yeah, that does not look good.
Well struck, gets the Rangers to within a run. Drew Robinson will take over at first base as the pinch runner. There's Drew. Oh boy, we will await word on Adrian Beltre, but you almost think it can't be true. Elvis Andrus down. We've got Odor down. Delano to Shields, the first to fall this year. He's come back off the disabled list. Beltre out of the game, though. Here's Gallo. And he'll cue this one down the third baseline foul. That was not by design. We've talked a lot about Gallo trying to go the other way, and he has done so with some success here this year. But that was not the intent on that swing. They give him a lot of room over there, though. Tonight, Gallo 0 for 3, and he swings and misses. Great power on power here. The heater of Trevino at 98, and Gallo, who swings perhaps harder than anybody in the game. 0-2. Swinging again and comes up empty, and that strikeout ends the Rangers' threat in the 8th. They get a run back, though. We go to the 9th inning in a 3-2 game. We'll wrap up this series. Our forward pitching probables. Kendall Graveman, and you see the numbers. It has been a real tough start to the year for him. The Rangers certainly have seen better Kendall Graveman in the past. And Doug Fister back and ready to go tomorrow night. So it'll be great to see him back off the disabled list. Drew Robinson stays in the game and will take over at third base for Adrian Beltre. Chris Martin, a new pitcher.
Yeah, Chris throws a nice variety of pitches. Fastball, mid-90s, 40% of the time. Then a slider. Throws a lot of sliders, a lot of cutters. Everything pretty hard. Slowest speed would be the slider, mid-80s. And the cutter about halfway between the slider and his fastball as far as velocity goes.
Not quite hard enough to be considered a slider.
No, no.
All right, well, his job is to keep this thing close enough to give the Rangers a shot in the bottom of the 9th. Matt Joyce takes that breaking ball for a strike. Joyce came on in the 7th inning as a pinch hitter for Chad Pender, who had the start in left field. Joyce walked and was eventually picked off third base. He takes another strike. Good fastball there at 95 miles per hour. Martin, the Arlington native. Well, 19,391 are attendance tonight, and a lot of them weighing in on the merits of that last pitch.
He tried to hit the outside corner with his cut fastball at 91 miles an hour. Must have just missed it.
This one fouled away, stays 1-2. So the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Oakland. And they continue to just add incrementally to their lead. They've scored a run in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings so far. The 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss.
That's a nice combination of pitches. 2 cut fastballs right near the outside corner, and then his best fastball up and in. You see the 4 pitches before it all outside, and bang, there comes that one at 95. Up and in. A little too hot to handle right there for Matt Joyce. Nice pitch by Chris Martin.
So 1 out. Here is Jed Lowry. And he hits this one out towards center field. Drops in. That's a base hit for Lowry. His 2nd of the night. Now 37 hits on the young season for him.
Lowry would be one of the candidates for Player of the Month the way he's played in April. Probably going to have to beat out Didi Gregorius right now, among a couple of others. Mike Trout's had a great month.
Well, man on now for Chris Davis, who's 0 for 4. Good fastball from Martin, but off the plate. So Martin in the game today, we mentioned from Arlington, and today returned to Arlington High School, or rather yesterday. Saw some old friends, including head baseball coach David Nix. Martin pitched there 2002 to 04. As Davis shanks that one to the right side. So really fun for Chris Martin. I love it, you know, talking to him about this season and pitching for his hometown team. And I don't know if you heard this the other day, Tom, but he was telling me, yeah, I've pitched in the big leagues for the Yankees. You know, I've been around Major League Baseball a little bit here and there. He's like, and it was always kind of interesting to people. He's like, but now that I pitch for the Rangers, it's like, oh, you're a big league pitcher. Now that's legit.
We know what the Rangers are.
Right. And we get that. And he said, you know, even for himself, he's got a little bit of that where it's like, you know, yeah, this just feels different. This feels bigger.
Yeah, well, it has to be a great feeling for the handful of players who are able to play in the exact city they were brought up in. It happens a lot in California. A lot of players grew up in the Los Angeles, Anaheim area, so it happens quite a bit out there. A lot of players come from Texas, so it will happen occasionally here as well.
Well, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Chris Davis. A man at first. Two and 2. Well, 2 guys going head to head. Very different goals in mind right here. Chris Davis and Chris Martin, 2 guys who definitely disagree on how you spell the name Chris. There's a swing and a miss, and Davis down on strikes. A little more on the great Chris Davis story. Let's check in with Emily Jones.
Well, Chris Martin is the one I was going to talk about, David.
Oh,
He spoke about playing in Japan and how that gave him a perspective that he wouldn't have otherwise. He said playing in Japan was it was frustrating to not be able to speak the language, to always have to have someone translate for you. And so when he came back over, and of course cherry on top being able to play for his hometown team, but he really did have a new perspective on playing Major League Baseball regardless of where it was, one that playing in Japan gave him.
And that's Chris Martin. throw back down to first.
It looked like the lessons he learned in Japan have served him well for his return to the big leagues and pitching for the Rangers. He's thrown the ball extremely well this year. And from Chris Davis's point of view, a rare 0 for 5 against the Rangers. It's that 6 straight games he's gone without hitting a home run against the Rangers, but he's 0 for 5 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. The Rangers have handled him well.
And there's a strike to Chapman. 1-1. Big breaking ball. Chapman takes a huge cut, but got underneath it. Gallo out there in left field, and that will take us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers down by a run, looking for that comeback tonight. Profar will lead it off, Chirinos to follow, and Ronald Guzman do third.
Night for a 9th inning comeback. John Radigan up here with the Hall of Famer Ivan Pudge Rodriguez and David Murphy. We're getting ready for Rangers Live, powered by Fios by Frontier. Pudge, what are you looking for?
One run. We need to tie this ball game, win this ball game, and hopefully Adrian Beltre is fine. So nothing serious for him.
Well, Elvis is down. Hopefully we don't lose Adrian, but we need somebody to step up in the 9th. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, let's
go Rangers.
Yeah, go Rangers. Let's get a little comeback, and it makes for a better post-game show after the game, guys.
Yeah, and I get that. Santiago Casilla has come on here. First save spot for him.
And he's off to a pretty good start with 8 innings, 8 strikeouts, a strikeout per inning, and only 1 walk. Has kept the ball in the ballpark so far.
His first pitch to Profar, and that one is in there for strike. A 1-run game. Last of the 9th inning. Profar 0 for 3 so far. Got news on Adrian Beltre, a left hamstring strain. He'll be reevaluated tomorrow. Breaking ball from Casilla way in. Well, getting that lead man on would certainly go a long way toward fueling a 9th inning rally. 2-1. Casilla last year saved 16 games in 23 tries. I'll do the math for you. That means he blew 7. Ooh, borderline strike. It's 2-2.
This one looked like it started out as a strike, and then that late movement have been a slightly off the plate. Talking about a matter of an inch or so with a ball going 93 miles an hour with that kind of movement. Umpire has to have a slight margin for error.
So 2-2 to Profar, who has never faced Casilla before. Rangers got a run in the 6th, a run in the 8th. Beltre drove in both of them. Sac fly and an RBI single. 2-2 and a slow roller foul.
That bat didn't have a chance out of that contact.
Sounded like it was wicker.
A little bit of an unorthodox swing right here. But he hung in there. Got another one coming. That's using every bit of your effort to figure out a way to make contact with the ball.
And just keep the at bat going. Here's a 2-2 and a fly ball out to left center. Joyce, the left fielder, calling for it, and that is out number 1.
The catcher, Robinson Chirinos.
Here's Adrian Beltre in the 8th inning with a great at bat. He shoots a double in the gap in right center field. It gets halfway to first base, and you'll see it happen. The hamstring tugged at him, and he had to come out of the ball game. Reevaluated, and we'll wait and see. Keep our fingers crossed on that one. Playing so well right now. I think he's leading the league in doubles. Came into the game hitting .298 after the game tonight. A double, a single, and a sac fly, driven in 2 runs, hitting over 300.
Yeah, that would have been his 9th double.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't a double. I called it a double. It was a single in the gap.
1-1 on Chirinos here. 1 out, 9th inning. So right before the Beltre injury, we saw Chu line one off Blake Trinan, a guy who had saved a couple of games for Oakland this year. Knocked him out of the game. Chirinos lofts this one way up there to center field, and Canna very patiently waits on it, and there are 2 gone. So Santiago Casilla 1 out away from his first save of 2018, and that's the man standing between him and that save. Ronald Guzman, the rookie, who is 0 for 3 tonight. This is just the 9th game in Guzman's career. And facing the very experienced Santiago Casilla, 37 years old. Casilla, 3 World Series rings with the Giants. Started his career with Oakland and spent 7 years with the Giants, and then last year made his return to the A's. Guzman sends this one out to left field. Chases Joyce back a little ways, but Joyce is there. And the inning is done, and the Rangers can't mount that comeback in the 9th inning and fall just short tonight. 3-2, our final score. So the frustrations continue for the Rangers. John Radigan, David Murphy, and Pudge will be right back with you. They'll have all the player reaction and breakdown of this one tonight. For Tom Grieve and Emily Jones, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us as our coverage of Rangers baseball continues right after this.